the Shenandoah County School Board organizational meeting to order at 7 p.m. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
The motion was made by Mr. Rickard and seconded by Ms. Carlinio to approve the agenda. All in favor of approving the agenda as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes 6-0. Nominations, 1.3, nominations for chairperson for Shenandoah County School Board. Is there a nomination for the school board chair?
I nominate Larry Vance for the school board chair.
Whitney Pence nominated Larry Vance for the school board chair. Is there another nomination?
Yes, Dr. Shepherd. I would like to nominate Mr. Mike Rickard.
Okay, Gloria Carlinio nominated Mike Rickard. Is there another nomination for school board chair? Second and final time, is there another nomination for school board chair? Hearing none, we will move on to, nominations are closed, and we will move on to 1.4, vote for chairperson for Shenandoah County Public Schools.
Dr. Shepherd, I do have a point of order. I mean, I wanted, because I know we had talked about this before, and it doesn't really explicitly talk about this here, but I know we talked about it last year, that I would like the opportunity for each of the members to say why they're running, and then be able to have discussion among the members, either supporting or against, or discussion on the candidacies.
Certainly. So after the motion for the school board chair is first and seconded, and then the second nomination is first and seconded, there will be an opportunity for discussion.
Very good.
Yep. So do I have a motion for Larry Vance as chair?
I move to appoint Larry Vance for the 2026 school board chairperson.
Is there a second for Larry Vance for chair?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. The motion was made by Whitney Pence. The second was made by Tom Street for Larry Vance as chair. Do I have another motion?
Well, I move to appoint Mr. Michael Rickard for the 2026 school board chairperson.
Gloria Carlinio has made a motion for Mike Rickard as the chairperson for Shenandoah County School Board. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I have a first, Gloria Carlinio, for Mike Rickard to be chair, and a second by Mike Shabby. Now discussion, since Mr. Vance was nominated first and had the first motion, Mr. Vance, would you like to speak?
The role of the school board to me falls under 4 major headings: policy, practices, resources, leadership. Policies that further the interests of public education, practices that work in the classroom, resources that are not on the target but in the bullseye, and leadership that is a force multiplier. And in the 14 months that I've been on the board, subtly or more so, I have supported efforts towards all 4 of those and wish to continue that success.
Thank you. Mr. Rickard?
The role of chairman of the board, to me, really doesn't change my position on the board a whole lot, except it accentuates my leadership abilities. When I was first elected as a school board member, I started my time by first going to the SBMA symposium and educating myself and really digging in to what it is to be a school board member. And I remember our first organizational meeting like this, Kyle, and I believe it was Brandy, were talking about getting rid of the personnel committee. Even after volunteering myself on 3 or 4 different committees, I asked that we keep that committee alive. Reason being is my wife works in the school system. That previous summer, we had lost 21 teachers at Sandy Hook Elementary School alone. So I didn't think it was a time or the place to be getting rid of the personnel committee. Kyle even reinforced that when he said that committee hadn't been used for 2 years. Thankfully, Gloria had my back, and she volunteered to assist me on that personnel committee. And we've since, I believe, made a difference with the personnel. They've come to us. They've come to trust Dr. Shepard when I've reinforced in them that if they come to us, we will take it to Dr. Shepard, and we can go anonymously or we can use their names. The ones that have chose to use their names after trusting us for a while, they've found that Dr. Shepard is very approachable, very trustworthy, and now they talk to her on their own. On top of that, Tom, you couldn't make the Parks and Rec Committee meetings. I was the alternate at that time. I stepped up and started going to those meetings in Tom's place. And I'm still serving on that Parks and Rec Committee today. I went through the list that Dr. Shepard or Cheryl Jett, the clerk, provided us, and I'm on like 5 of these right now, and I don't have a problem with it. I've never had a problem attending anything. That being said, so that I'm not proven to be a liar later on, the breakfast at Triplet, I appreciate the invite for that. The things like that during the day when I'm at work, I don't usually partake in. No offense to anybody within the school system. It's just not high on my priorities. But not long after we were on school board, I believe Larry was on school board at that time as well, the 3rd grade class at Ashby Lee reached out to us. And there were literally close to, I guess, probably 100 letters from 3rd graders about their playground equipment. So I made it a point to get off work early, and I reached out to that teacher that led that effort. And I went out and I met with all those 3rd graders. And those 3rd graders took me out to their playground and showed me all the equipment and the deficiencies with that equipment. Mike Scheibe, that was the first time I saw him really step up. He was like, you know what, I could go out there and take care of some of those deficiencies on my own, and he did. And I applaud you for that. Thank you. But after meeting with those 3rd graders, I went back to Dr. Shepard and I said, hey, what are we doing about this? Thankfully, she comes back and says, we already have new playground equipment on order for that school. Told me when it should be in, and we were able to get that together with the teacher that had led that effort. Since then, the new playground equipment has started to be installed out there. One playground's 100%, is it not? Not too long after that, I went to the Noah Webster conference. I've really dug into this and really educated myself. One of the state requirements, I don't know if the new members know this or not, but part of the SOQ for the state is that you have to do professional development. You don't just get elected and not do anything. You have to do professional development and educate yourself to be a school board member. I've done that. I've done that every year. This past year I took personal vacation time. I believe it was in November. You all went. We were there at the SBMA conference. I've taken online courses through SBMA. If you're an SBMA member, they email you several times. They provide plenty of courses if you choose to take them. I assisted with the Youngkin model policy writing. I fought for our female athletes. I fought for our staff when it came to being compelled to participate in gender identity or gender ideology. I've met with many teachers and staff to educate myself on the step or no step. When we had to vote on our first budget and we had to figure out, do we give them a step or don't we give them a step? I went out and I met with over 100 teachers and staff to figure out what the step, no step thing was about. Our new director of finance has even said a raise without a step is not that great. I worked to find a happy medium with the attendance policy when that was so rigorous and the kids weren't allowed to attend dances and such. There was a gentleman down at the southern end of the county that he played sports, and the sports helped his chronic illness. I talked to those parents several times. They were working to figure out the whole attendance policy because they didn't want him missing out on sports, because the doctors at UVA had confirmed that him being in sports helped his chronic illness. I've assisted bus drivers when they felt their pay or their contract was not being honored. Dr. Shepard this past year corrected their pay rates. And even though we weren't able to go back and do anything retroactively because it was a contract, Dr. Shepard assured that bus driver, if they stayed on board, they would be compensated greatly in the coming year because of the pay raise. So, I mean, the facts speak for themselves. I'm out here, I'm fighting for our personnel, I'm fighting for our students. Another student reached out about security for our schools. I went to bat for that. I researched that. I contacted the company. I've talked to people within our county, the fire marshal, the head of the SROs, the sheriff. I make myself available, even though I have a full-time job that I do pretty well at. I make sure, and I made sure before running for this position, that I could fulfill the duties. And I believe the 2 years, previous 2 years, have spoken for themselves. So when it comes to being the chairman, I've researched that as well, and I believe that that I could definitely fulfill that role as well. Like I said, the only difference I see between the chairman and this position right here is the person we want to lead, the 6 of us. And going into the next 4 years with a new governor, I believe that's going to be a tough job, and I believe I'm the man for it. I appreciate all your support. I appreciate you all running for school board. I appreciate you serving on school board. It's a tall order, but the kids are worth it. The staff's worth it. I appreciate your all's time. Thank you.
Are there any other comments?
I would like to speak. So I want to speak on behalf of my support for Mr. Rickard. I've been here now 2 years, and as you all know, I've done a lot of policies that I have introduced and a lot of work that I have done with Mr. Rickard. In this last 6 months, I didn't do as much just because I know that it's a little bit hard from my perspective as a board member to be able to work if the policies that I'm introducing are getting blocked, or if we're getting, if it's not getting its due consideration before the board. And for me, it is very important to have somebody who has demonstrated a commitment to the board. As Mr. Rickard has said, and I do want to clarify something, because a lot of people think that we're always voting in lockstep, but if you go back and look at the voting, a lot of times we disagree on a lot of issues. The difference is that we respect each other, and respect is earned. If you want to get respect, you have to give respect. And we agree to disagree on some issues, but we still are able to work together. And we have worked together on a lot of that stuff. The personnel committee comes to mind. That's something that has been very active, and I think a lot of people appreciate it, and we know this because they write to us, they tell us. I do have people all the time telling us how much they appreciate that we are making ourselves out there available for the people, and especially they appreciate Mr. Rickard, because from my perspective, as I said before, my district pretty much encompasses all the schools. Mr. Rickard is really only Strasburg. But we have a lot of people in the southern campus and in the central campus that also appreciate that they can call him up and they can text him or email him, and that he's going to respond. And he does. A lot of times he does, when somebody has a concern, he immediately picks up the phone and calls them up, even though he's never met him before. And I think that's what we need in a chairman. I think we need to regain the trust of the people. I know that there's been a lot of things going on that not everybody is, particularly trusting of leadership, whether in the school board, in the county, or nationwide. So for me, it's very important to have somebody, not just that, sounds good or who, is saying the right things, but somebody who's actually acted and who's actually proven himself that he really does care about this. Now, I'm not saying that Mr. Vance doesn't care about this. I'm just saying in terms of who has actually been out there working really hard for this. And I know for a fact that Mr. Rickard has done that. And I know sometimes it drives Marsha crazy how much we're either on the phone or working or trying to figure things out. There's a lot of other, we've had a long list of policies that I have introduced. Even the last 3 ones that I introduced in December almost didn't make it into the agenda because our previous chairman was offended that I had put Dr. Shepard's name ahead of his in the email line. Thankfully, Mr. Gottschall was able to help out, and we were able to put it back on the agenda. But that shouldn't have happened. I mean, we're talking about policies such as the 250th anniversary celebration. That should not be happening on this board. And from my perspective, there's still many things that I want to work on with AI, with the patriotic curriculum, things that I have already been working with Dr. Shepard, that I would like this board to be a part of, and that we can keep helping our students. But I need to make sure that the leadership that we have is going to be leadership that is going to allow to at least have this discussion. Doesn't mean that it's going to pass. Maybe you guys don't agree with me on this stuff, but that's fine. At least we're going to have the discussion, and that to me is very important. So I just want to reiterate again, I have been working with Mike now for the last 2 years, and I know what his commitment is to the school board, to the students, God bless you, to the teachers. It's great when we go to events, even outside of the school board, at our schools, like WRE, or when we went to recently to the Fields of Faith. It's always great to see how many people come over to Mr. Rickard just to say hi. And we're talking about teachers, we're talking about students, we're talking about parents, because they trust him. And I personally trust him. So again, this is why I am supporting him for chair, and I hope that everybody else will consider that as well.
Are there any other comments? Mr. Rickard?
Are there any members of our board that are not in the SBMA?
I'm not sure. I'm not in the SBMA. I'm not sure.
Are there any members of the board up here that would admit whether they are or are not in the SBMA?
I'm not.
Huh?
I'm not.
How are you getting your professional development complete?
Madam Superintendent, I rise to a point of order that this is not a debate.
So do you call for the vote?
Yeah. Call for the vote.
Thank you. Hearing a call for the vote, this will be a roll call vote. When you vote, please signify the person you are voting for, either Mr. Vance or Mr. Rickard. Cheryl, will you do a roll call vote?
Mr. Shively,
Mr. Vance.
Mr. Stree,
Larry Vance.
Ms. Carlinio,
Mr. Rickard?
Ms. Pence,
Mr. Vance.
Mr. Vance,
I abstain.
Mr. Rickard.
Myself.
Mr. Vance is the new chair. The vote is 3 for Mr. Vance, 2 for Mr. Rickard, and 1 abstention. Item 1.5, nominations for vice chairperson for Shenandoah County School Board. Do I hear a nomination for the vice chairperson for Shenandoah County School Board?
I nominate Miss Whitney Pence.
Mr. Street nominated Ms. Whitney Pence. Is there another nomination?
I nominate myself.
Is there another nomination? Going once? Going twice? Hearing no nominations, I close the nominations. Is there a motion for Ms. Whitney Pence as vice chair of the Shenandoah County School Board?
I make a motion to make Mrs. Whitney Pence vice chair, Shenandoah County School Board.
Mr. Street made a motion for Ms. Whitney Pence to be vice chair. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Vance. Is there a motion for Mr. Rickard to be vice chair?
I will like to nominate Mr. Rickard for vice chair.
Ms. Carlinio made a motion for Mr. Rickard to be vice chair. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rickard. Discussion. Ms. Pence, do you have anything you would like to say?
Absolutely. Thanks for the opportunity, and thank you for the nomination, Mr. Straight. I appreciate it. As a newly elected school board member, I'm just coming off of the campaign trail, completing my election in November. And during that time, obviously, I received the support of the community. They are aware that, I'm here to support the students, the staff, and I'm in a unique position where I am overly available during the day, and in my opinion, I would have to believe that that is something of importance to staff, parents, during the day if they have issues and need to reach out to me. I'm very easily accessible. I also do believe that members of the board who are in leadership position should not be distracted by any legal issues that they currently have going on, and I am one of those people. So I definitely would continue the hard work that I put into my campaign if I were given the opportunity to be the vice chair of the school board. Thank you.
Mr. Rickard, comments?
I go with what I said earlier. Going off what Whitney said there at the end. One thing we were taught when we were first on this board, one of our first conferences, the attorneys all looked at us and told us, if you're not being sued for something, don't worry, it'll be coming. You're either doing nothing or you're doing too much, because the lawsuits will come. The only lawsuit that I'm tied up in is one resulting from an employee within our school division who is no longer with us. It was brought about by being on school board. I am involved in no personal litigation other than that. And like I said, stick around on school board long enough, you'll find yourself in the hot seat. That is, if you're doing anything.
Actually, a point of information, we're all members of litigation right now. We're all being sued.
Are there any other comments? will do a roll call vote. And please signify your selection for vice chair of the Shenandoah County School Board by indicating Ms. Pence or Mr. Rickard. Ms. Jeff?
Shivey,
Ms. Pence.
Mr. Street,
Ms. Pence.
Ms. Carlinia,
Mr. Rickard?
Ms. Pitts,
I abstain.
Mr. Vance,
Ms. Pence?
Mr. Rickard.
Myself.
Ms. Pence is the vice chairperson of the Shenandoah County School Board with a vote of 3 for Pence, 2 for Rickard, and 1 abstention. I will now turn the meeting over to Chairperson Vance.
Thank you, Dr. Shepherd. Item 1.7, nominations for clerk for the Shenandoah County School Board. The floor is now open for a nomination.
I move to appoint Cheryl Jett for the 2026 School Board Clerk of the Board.
Ms. Jett has been properly nominated. Is there a second?
Second.
And a second. Other nominations? Hearing none, we proceed to vote. Madam Clerk, there is one candidate. May we vote by voice? We may. All in favor of Cheryl Jett becoming the clerk of the school board for Shenandoah County, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Hearing none, you are elected by acclamation. Cheryl Jett reinstated as clerk. Item 1.9, nominations for deputy clerk of the Shenandoah County School Board. The floor is open for nominations.
I move to appoint Crystal Stickley for the 2026 School Board Deputy Clerk of the Board.
Ms. Stickley has been nominated. Is there a second?
I second.
Several seconds. Other nominations? Hearing none, we close the nominations. All in favor of Ms. Stickley being appointed deputy clerk of the board for the Shenandoah County School Board will answer by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Congratulations, the reappointment is confirmed. Under the information agenda, recommendation for parliamentarian, Dr. Shepherd, do you have a recommendation?
I do have a recommendation. I think that Mr. Joe Bowman has done a fabulous job of being the parliamentarian, and I would recommend him to continue in that role.
And this will be continued under action item 3.1.
Yes.
Committee assignments for 2026, once again, Dr. Shepherd.
Thank you. So in front of you, you will have 2 lists and descriptions of the committees that the school board members serve currently on. You will notice on the Shenandoah County School Board Committee list, the School Infrastructure Planning Committee was added today. We failed to put that on there earlier. The 2 representatives for that infrastructure committee were Mike Rickard. Are you interested in serving on that committee again this year? And then also Kyle Gutschall, who will need to be replaced. Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So if you are interested in serving in any of these committees, please let Mr. Vance know by Thursday, January the 15th. These committees will be solidified at the Monday, January 26th meeting. And let Mr. Vance know by email, please. Does that work for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
Item 2.3, resolution setting terms and conditions and appointing trustees to the Starnes Education Trust. Madam Superintendent.
The Starnes Education Trust sets the terms and conditions upon which the trustee will serve as the trustees of the trust. Past school board member and trustee of the Starnes Educational Trust was Mr. Kyle Gutschall, and he did not seek re-election. Therefore, at our next meeting on Thursday, January the 8th, we will need a recommendation and a motion for the trustee to the Mary Ellen and Donald D. Starnes Education Trust, and approve the resolution setting the terms and conditions of the trust. Attached to this agenda item is the resolution and the copy of the Starnes' last will and testament. This is a very interesting appointment. The money from this trust goes to serve students with disabilities and students who may not have financial means to be able to enroll in dual enroll credit. So it serves that, the trust actually benefits those children. So, and this meeting has been set for Tuesday, February the 17th at 9 a.m. So whoever is on this trust will need to be available during the day. This appointment would need to be able to meet one time a year. It's an interesting appointment, and I hope there's someone who is interested in serving.
Did we not have somebody on it before?
Kyle Vetchall was our representative, and then before him it was Andrew Keller.
Is that the conclusion on that?
Yes, so we will need to know that person at the January 8th meeting.
Item 2.4, resolution on agent and deputy agent for examining and approving payment of claims, and that will be dealt with again later on item 3.2. Dr. Shepherd.
Yep, so the agent for approving claims was Kyle Gutschall, and the deputy agent was Larry Vance. This needs to be somebody who can come in and sign the approval during working hours during the week. And I think it's twice a month that you have to review claims and approve them and ask questions about some of the funds that we're spending, if you have any questions about that. So, is there anyone interested in being the agent, and is there anyone interested in being the deputy agent? So when we get down to the action agenda item, we'll have that taken care of.
I'd be happy to make a recommendation if that's in order.
That would be great.
For agent, I would recommend Whitney Pence. She's 6.5 minutes from this building, and so coming down and signing a form twice a month would not be a handicap. She can do that on her way to the Woodstock Cafe to pick up her latte. And I would also recommend for the deputy agent, Ms. Carlinio.
No, I decline, thank you.
You decline, Mr. Shabby?
Yes, I would accept that.
That would be my recommendation.
I accept as well.
Item 2.5 is a recommendation of designee to attend meetings of the school board in the absence of the division superintendent, and I have a sneaking suspicion that Dr. Shepherd has a recommendation.
So on the rare occasion that I am not at a school board meeting or a work session, I would like to recommend that Mr. Chad Hensley and Miss Jennifer Proctor fill in my absence.
We now move to the action items, of which there are 4 on the agenda. The appointment of a parliamentarian, and the floor is open for nominations.
I move to continue with Mr. Joe Bowman as school board parliamentarian.
Thank you, Mr. Rickard. Mr. Bowman has been nominated. Are there other nominations? Is there a second?
Second.
And a second. No other nominations? As my brother, the auctioneer, would say, going once, going twice, going 3 times. Nominations are closed. And we now vote. All in favor of Mr. Bowman being reappointed as parliamentarian for the Shenandoah County School Board will indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Congratulations, Mr. Parliamentarian. Unanimous.
Thank you.
3.2, resolution on agent and deputy agent for examining and approving the payment of claims. You have heard the recommendation of the superintendent. being Ms. Pence as the agent and Mr. Scheibe the deputy agent. Would there be any nominations from the floor?
I move to appoint Whitney Pence as the agent and Mike Scheibe as the deputy agent to examine and approve the school board's bills and payroll.
May I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor of the motion as presented will indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Congratulations. And Whitney thought she was going to get by, but this is her birthday present. See, today's her birthday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Carlenio did not vote, correct? She didn't
Mr. Parliamentarian, do we need to wait for Ms. Carlin?
The majority vote.
It's a voice majority.
Proceed.
It would take 3 more noes to vote it down.
All right.
I'd say you could proceed in this case,
Sir.
yeah. Yeah, you can go
All
ahead.
right. The appointment or designee to attend the meetings, and you've heard the recommendation of the superintendent, Mr. Hensley and Mrs. Proctor. Is there a motion to that effect?
I move to appoint Mr. Chad Hensley and Miss Jennifer Proctor as the superintendent's designees to attend school board meetings in the event of the superintendent's absence or inability to attend for the period of January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2026.
Is there a second?
A second.
And there were several, thank you. All in favor of the motion as stated, making Mr. Hensley and Ms. Proctor the designee, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And they are so appointed. Item number 4, adjournment. There has to be a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
So stated, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of adjourning, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And the Shenandoah County School Board stands adjourned until January the 8th at 5:30 p.m. And for the record, 7:36.